Hello and welcome to AAA Wargaming. This is the third battle report from Art of War that was back in February, so a bit of time now. But in my first game I'd lost 15-5 to Sam Freestone, and then I won 16-4 against Big Jim. So I was sitting on 21 points, which is not a bad score after two games. I was pretty happy with that. And then I got paired up against the man himself, the legend, the nicest man in Ninth Age, Rory Stows, and his Warriors of the Dark Gods. So let's head on with this. So the deployment and secondary objective were both special for this one again, with some really good ones. Uh, as I said, Rory was playing Warriors of the Dark Gods, so let's firstly go on to the objective. It's called Mutually Assured Destruction. A deployment type is Dawn Assault. Oh, so it wasn't special. Oh, silly me. Um, Either way, so it's Dawn Assault, so you could put stuff in the flanks, and that's possibly something I did think about, but neither of us did in the end. But otherwise, we're far enough away from each other, and we just have effectively a refuse flank kind of scenario where we're only going to be in certain parts of the board. Secondary objective. So each time an enemy unit is removed as a casualty, you gain a victory counter. At the end of the game, the player with the most victory counters wins this secondary objective. So this is a proper bloodbath. It flags, but your entire army. Yeah, there's no, as they say, TO's top tip. No finesse here. Remember, you can have deployment ambushes. Yes. Okay. Sorry. Yes. Sorry. That was a good reminder. Though I don't think Rory and I did discuss it, but I don't think we did it. So moving on to his list. So he's gone for an Exalted Herald, which he chose hard target. So he only had two spells, and he didn't choose fly and a breath weapon, but he just wanted that hard target because my two Pathfinder units, which I think was a good idea, because there's the attribute, the one it also allows him to regain wounds in combat. And I think that's something really powerful with the Herald, just because it means you can hide him in there, and he's a killy enough unit. If you pick the right target, you're in a good spot. He's got a Sorcerer Adept on Evocation with the Book of Arcane Mastery, which is really strong, gives you lots of flexibility for offensive and buffing magic, I think. I think it's really positive. He had a big unit of warriors with great weapons and pride, which is... Oh, I can't remember. I think that's minimize leadership checks. And Zealot's banner for those lovely extra attacks. That's a big unit that I didn't... To be honest, I'm not really scared of that unit as much because I've got Blade Dancers. I find Blade Dancers can just, especially if they're hitting first, can blend that unit quite easily, even without magic. So and they can bring it quite far down. So it wasn't a unit. It was a pairing I really wanted to hit that with. He's got a unit barbarians where I'm guessing the adept was in there, so a scoring unit is probably going to be out of the way. 5 Feldrax, so yeah, they're going to be tough. It's that fourth wound that really does you. I mean, it's 20 wound unit of res 5, and they've got a 4-up save, which is important. So yeah, I didn't really know how to deal with them. I just know I didn't want to charge my dragon into them because they've got hatred, obviously, against flying creatures. So, but at the same time, with the halberd and strength 6, I didn't really want to throw in my avatar either. But there you go. Then I've got 5 chosen knights with wrath. This is kind of like, yeah, this is where the avatar can actually go to town on them. I've had that before, and he's been quite tough. 2 units of 6 wretched ones. It's at this point I sort of like I was a bit looking at it going, yeah, this is going to be fun. It's been a while since I played wretched ones. It doesn't go well, so I needed to somehow deal with them. I didn't really have a plan. I think my usual plan is try and get the wild huntsman into them with flaming banner and sacrifice them, or try and get a monster in and just make sure I don't let him get any combat buffs on. 5 flares and a bow. So this is what happened. So they're going to be chaffed. They're going to be my big target. So I was going to try and I think when you look at my army, when you think about it, to kill units off here, what I really wanted to do was get the Blade Dancers into Warriors. It's big points and it's a unit there. Get my Avatar into the Chosen Knights. And then somehow use my Dragon. I didn't really have a plan for the Wretched ones, and I think that was a mistake. What I should have done was plan my monsters into the Wretched ones and use my Pathfinders to pick off units that I wanted to pick up and just try and keep going for them, whilst trying to protect my fluffy stuff as much as my sort of very immobile scoring units that would be quite easy to pick up. So he's got a definite advantage because he can hold the barbarians back, and then apart from the flayers, there's nothing else that's easy to kill there. While I've got some very low units, and I'm going into this tournament. I did have a different plan list. I just didn't have time to paint it with all the stuff going on. So I knew this was going to be a difficult matchup scoring wise. So yeah, like it's the Dryads, it's the Heath Hunters, it's the Heath Riders. They're quite easy to take off with the right magic. So and the Wild Huntsman. So I knew this was going to be a different one from the scoring. So I had to be quite clever. So plan take a lot of offensive magic so I can kick stuff off. Keep the Blade Dancers away from the Wretched Ones and zone the Warriors, and just use the monsters to defeat the Wretched Ones. That was pretty much it going in, and then see what I could pick up elsewhere. I didn't really have a plan for the Exalted Herald, even without flight. It's just so mobile. Like, there's not much I can really do unless I get lucky with the zoning. So I just decide I'm going to try and kill more before it kills more of me, and hope his magic isn't that great. In terms of magic, I went for Stone Skin this time just to have a bit of a buff option, a bit, especially as in 20, which didn't really matter that much. He hasn't got any shooting, so there's only combat going in there. So that's why I was like, nah, this is not worthwhile. And then, yeah, and that was pretty much it. Just take the Master of Earth and see what I can do with it. In his selection, he didn't choose Mark of Doom. No, he did choose Mark of Doom. Mark of Doom. Sorry, what didn't he choose? What's the one with the 2 or 3D? He chose Mark of Doom, so he's got the snipe. Yeah, that was it. So he chose Mark of Doom and Hasten Yard to have double snipe. He did only choose an Ancestral Aid, and this is where I should have really picked up on this. He's got Ancestral Aid and Whispers of Vale, and that just gives him that little bit of an advantage in the magic when it comes to the Wretched Ones, and this made me have a think about it. And then obviously he's got the Hereditary, because that Hereditary with that movement is just Pathfinder Killing Central. Strength 6, don't care about the AP, because there's no save on them. So I was a bit like, oh, how do I zone? And then so like, how do I zone a Herald that's really, really mobile and keep it away from some Pathfinders? I'm not sure because definitely can't. I'm not sure I can kill that reliably. Anyway, so that was a problem I had in my head. Yeah, and now there it goes. So what basically I'll be given a choice of reroll to wound or res 5 and he's wounding me on 5. So pretty much the same thing with my monsters. And I just think with D6 D6 plus 6, that's quite a high way. And I'd heard some horror stories about how he ate a Lord and Night Block and the rest of it. So the rest of ones apparently were doing pretty well up till this tournament, up till this one. Ooh. Yep. So here we go, deployment. So what we have here is, ooh, what have I done there? I'm really sorry. Hang on. Whoa. What am I doing? That's better. Cool. Sorry. So what I've got here is we've got terrain. So we've got a forest on this side, where we've got impassable here, and then we've got another hill here with another bit of impassable there and a water feature there, which I was pretty happy about when he chose that side. Downside is he's got this covering his flank, but otherwise he's got a water feature in the center there, and I've got 2 forests along here. So for Druidism, that's pretty good. If I had New Druidism now, I've had a look at it. Oh, this would be so good. Yeah, I really like New Druidism, but I am still going to trade with Triple Adept for a while. Courtesy, actually, of Rory. Took us out for a meal that night. His suggestion was we went down to a pub instead of to the restaurant, which actually they took a while to get their food. But yeah, Rory talked me through his theory, and I agree with him. So I've already had my first game of Triple Adept, and I can tell you, it went well. So I'm really happy with that magic setup. Between channel 3 and double strength buff and druidism is just, yeah, mwah. So thank you very much, Rory. So here we had it. So what happened is he dropped for first. Yeah, so I let him drop for first because I was like, I need to be able to have some counters here, and I don't really know what to do. So what he's got is he's got his 5 Feldrux there, warriors. Oh, there's something under there. I wonder if that's a forest or something. I don't know. I can't remember. Maybe it's a wall. Sorry, you can see the wall there. He's then got the unit of 5 flares, which I was like, ooh, targets. Barbarians, the Chosen, with the Exalted Herald behind, and then 2 units of Wretched Ones. So what I did was I've got my Heath Hunters and Heath. No, sorry, I dropped for first. Sorry, I dropped first. My logic was I got my Heath Riders, my Heath Hunters. Heath Hunters, Heath Riders. Two units, my unit of small Dryaders back there facing that way. I've got a unit of Wild Huntsmen. They're just going to pop up the hill and zone this way. I put both my Pathfinders here. I didn't have my Pathfinders here, my Dryads here, and my Blade Lancers here, and then my two monsters, and my Heath Hunters were a bit of chaff. My theory was I was going to try and keep him into the top right with my Wild Huntsman. That was my theory. Whilst supporting, basically, if they charge into the Dryads, I could hold them there and then countercharge with the Blade Dancer that. And then use my really mobile characters and stuff with a bit of chaff just to deal with whatever came around here, and just then my Pathfinders were either going to deploy on the right or in the gap or back behind the centre and just support the centre. So I think it was okay, apart from where I put my Pathfinders eventually. And this as I got through his army. So he's put both his wretched ones here, suck up the Wild Huntsman charge, but then look at this behind. There's 4 units here, even after you've killed that 4 or 5 units here. They can easily come into a flank here. So I was like, crap. I didn't pick up on this, and that's quite important. So I should have put another one of these units out this way, and just this impassable. Like, I should have just turned them around instantly and start marching them this way. I should have moved the Heath Riders elsewhere and just trying to block with the Blade Dryads, sacrifice them, and just try to keep everything away from these wretched ones. I had the movement to move across here and start doing stuff, but I didn't. So, Sylvanel's turn 1. So what I did here was I pushed up as far as possible because I wanted to zone him in the corner as much as possible. So you can see I've moved the Wild Huntsman up onto the hill. I gave them healing waters. I've moved the Pathfinders up, and my intent is to shoot as much into the Chosen Knights as possible. Because actually, between the Wild Huntsman and Dryads, I think I can take the wretched ones with magic. I think I can do enough damage that just delays them and kills them off, or at least allows me to kill them off late game with magic and shooting. I just need to get rid of those Chosen Knights. Those are dangerous, and I need to deal with them. Otherwise, I've pushed the Blade Dancers up, not so much because I wanted to move the forest forward. You can see what I've done in the centre. So I've moved the forest forward. I gave them Forest Embrace. I don't know why. What did I do? No, I failed that. The only one I got off was Healing Waters. I've moved the Heath Hunters up here, and the intent was to shoot off. These guys will start pinking them off between the poison shots and them, and magic. And then my True Father here, because actually I'm like, go on then. You can charge in there. You're going to take DTs. I'm pretty happy with this. I've got Stone Skin. I don't think you're going to kill me first round because you're winning on 4s. I can take this. So that was my first turn. In shooting, yep, I did put a couple of wounds on the Chosen. Does it 5 Chosen Knights? Yeah, sorry, I killed a Chosen Knight in the first turn of shooting, so I was pretty happy with that. So I killed a Chosen Knight and put 3 wounds on the Flayers. So you can see how that is going well. So I think that's pretty well, and you can see how he's moved. Sorry, that was shorted. Yep, so that's me killing off a Chosen Knight, and this is him coming forward. So sorry, I missed completely Warriors of the Dark Gods turn 1, but what you can see is he managed to get no, I let him get off his hereditary on me, and I stopped the others. I hoped between AP 0 and Healing Waters on a 5+ Fortitude, I could save a few more. I didn't. I can't remember whether he rolled really high and stuff like that, but I only ended up with 4 by the end, so 3 died. I was hoping for a few more, but that's still enough to put a lot of wounds through into those wretched ones. Now, this is the rest of it. You can see how the rest of his army's moved off. He didn't take the bait with the Feldrax on the right, and he's moved them round. This is after my second turn. You can see I've killed off the Flayers. And otherwise, he's moving his warriors up far enough away and with a lot of support from the Feldrax and the Barbarians. So if I go in and I don't break them, I'm getting a significant amount of counter charge. He'd moved his Chosen Knights up into the water feature there, and then his 2 Feldrax there. One on the his wretched ones you can see on the far left has gone to threaten my Heath Hunters here and not let them get round, and the other one's coming forward towards my Wild Hunts and draw them in. What he left me though on this, and you can see I didn't make it, he left me a 9 on there, a rerollable 9 into his Chosen Knights, and I took it. I still think that was the right call. And we talked about this after the game. It was much closer to the wretched ones, but this would have been game changing because as you can see, I healed a few of them, so I can heal a few of them. I probably could have get a couple of them back, a couple of the Wild Huntsmen back, and if I get into that unit, I'm tearing it apart. There's 4 of them. I probably kill at least 2 before they swing back, if not more, and then I'm through there. I've killed a big unit, and that means I've dominated the center. When I did that, what I should have done when I failed that charge, what I didn't do was I moved the Dryads forward, and that was mainly to get these 2 in better range of them, see if I could move them closer. But it was a mistake. I should have moved the Dryads back whilst moving the Blade Dancers forward and just given him a long charge. In the sense, I didn't, and it went badly from there. On the plus side, I have managed to kill a Feldrak between Poison Shooting with the Bow and Master of Earth and Hand of Heaven. So I think he stops Master of Earth. I get my Hand of Heaven through, and I'm rolling like 1 hit, strength 5 or something like that. It's very funny. Like I'm like plinking a wound off a game. It's a bit of a thing. So, but I have managed to kill several Feldraks. Otherwise, I've moved the Avatar back away. I can take a charge from the Feldraks. I can't take a charge, I think, from the Feldraks and the Warriors. I think that is too much for the Avatar. But I am conscious now that I am giving the Blade Dancers a bit of a problem on the right with the flank, and I just need to be wary of that. But what I'm trying to do here is, what my intent was to try and bring the Chosen Knights in on the Blade Dancers, but what I shouldn't have done that. I don't know what I was thinking, but that wasn't a good plan. Anyway, I should have moved the Blade Dancers back because he goes in here and he threatens to go in with the Feldrax into the dragon. He gets this one, which I still wasn't worried about. I was like, okay, but you can also see the wretched ones are into the Wild Huntsman top there. And the other wretched ones are now on a hill. So you remember when I spoke at the beginning about all those scoring units, all those units that are going to give them scoring objectives behind that hill. Well, it's happened, and yeah, but I don't think this is the problem here. I'm like, okay, the BSB is within range. They've got rerollable. I think the Avatar was in range as well, actually. So they've got a rerollable 9, which is good. He's failed the Feldrak charge, which is the big one. So my dragon can continue plinking off there, and actually I've got 4 more turns, so maybe I could do something. But as you can see here on the left, this is then I don't know how I'm going to get them out of range. I don't know what I'm going to do with them. They're coming out. They're dead. They're going to hold, but they're going to be going in next turn. They're out of position because they're staring at nothing, because he's moved his wizard there to go and start plinking away my stuff, and he's moved his warriors there. His barbarians are backed up because they don't need to be anywhere. So it's looking pretty like. I think I should have moved my blade dancers back, or I should have done something different here. I should have had a more supportive thing. At least what would have happened is, yes, he'd have gone in my wild huntsman and he'd still done here, but I'd have had the dryads and the blade dancer still here. He wouldn't have charged in, and I'd have a bit more freedom over this side. But maybe he'd have pushed for. I think it's 6 of one, half a dozen the other. But it still kept his warriors out. But anyway, in shooting, I let him get the. No, I failed to stop that one. Why did I do that? I was concentrating on combat buffs for the combat with the dryads. I just wanted them to last longer. So I let this one through. I thought, hopefully it won't kill the whole unit and I can rebuild it. This is me picking my Wild Huntsman off. I'm really sorry, Wild Huntsman. That was my own fault. But I think you just failed the Leadership 9 charge. Remember that for next time. Make leadership, make move. If you have a rerollable 9, make it. I did point out to Rory at this point that this was ironic because of several years ago at Masters when he failed a 5 charge with Wild Huntsman into Craig Johnson's Phoenix that would have overrun into another Phoenix, if I remember rightly. So, oh, how karma has come back to bite me on, not me personally, well, come back to bite an elf. Yeah, so, but it is quite funny when it happens with Wild Huntsman because you know when they hit, they're going to probably do a significant amount of damage. When they don't hit, you are not going to do anything and you're probably taking them off. Anyway, this I had all of them day, but other than that, and then, sorry, in my turn, I shot and did another 3 wounds to this. As you can see here on Warriors of the Dog Guards turn 3, this is after my turn. So what I'd have done, as you can see on my avatar here, is I've moved my avatar across because I thought I'd done the maths. The Dryads will have a steadfast leadership rerollable 9 leadership check. And then I can charge this guy in the flank, unless he wants to block me with his chosen lord. Perfectly acceptable. Oh, sorry, in my turn, yeah. No. Just no. These didn't even have to go in. He beats me on my turn. I fail a rerollable 9 leadership check. And he overruns, and he kills the Dryads. And now he's sat in front of my really, really small Dryads. And I was like, oh no. Which means his wretched ones can go after these 2 units. And yeah, they can stay out of the game, but they're not going to be easy points for me. So this is the end of my turn and beginning of his. So I was like, so between the Wild Huntsman Dryads, that's second, these small Dryads are going third, and probably the Heath Riders and Heath Hunters. I cannot stay away from this unit all game if he keeps that. Well, maybe I can do that, but I've lost 4 units already. This is not going well. So sorry, this is my, that's Warriors and Dark Spirits, so 3. This is my Sylvanar's turn 3. Just to emphasize what I did. So what I'd done is I brought all my archers across and I started plinking away at the Feldrucks on the right and the warriors. You can start to see a few of them being picked off in the center. My intent was to try and lull them in and see if I could kill these 2 units at least to get some points back. The problem I had is how do I keep that Exalted Herald from getting into my units? So I just had to use the Blade Dancers and the Avatar as a bit of a blocking force here. Yeah, so this is his. So he charges with them again into the Pathfinders. I think I flee or stand and shoot. And this is his Chosen Knights charging into my small Dryads, as you can see. Not looking good for them. And as you can see, the wretched ones are here. So you force 2 march checks. So the Heath Riders are definitely dead. They're checkmate. Either way they go. So I probably should have moved them the other way last turn. But then they probably have had the overrun again from the Dryads. So I think it's 6-1 up a dozen the other. The Heath Hunters, it's just more, if they pass their march check, they survive. If they don't, they die. Yeah, so it's their turn here. But you can see I'm keeping the Exalted Herald away, so that's good. It means he's not killing, but yeah, this is them dead. What he does do in this mage is he takes off a load of other wounds off my avatar, so he's only on like 2 wounds, I think, or 3. No, he's still on 4. Okay, so what he's done in his turn is he turns around. So at the end of combat, he does turn these around to face me. In my turn, I fail. I can't charge in, so I have to move the avatar in front. I've moved the Pathfinders up because I've moved everything as far away or out of arc of the Feldrex on the right. You can see in the center here. So my plan is I'm using the Blade Dancers into the wood. Okay, you're not going to charge me. I will win. Whilst I'm using the Pathfinders to degrade the warriors because actually they're so slow. So I can edge this. I'm basically trying to draw them into a bit of a trap. I wish and just to go after them. But the Pathfinders are just using the Blade Dancers as cover, so I'm going to try and kill them. I reckon with Magic Support, the Avatar beats the Invis guys up. And then these 2 are just going to keep plinking wounds off here. You can see they're down to 3 Feldrax now. 3 Feldrax, so I need 12 more wounds over 3 turns. It's perfectly possible, especially if they get in and they can turn around and shoot this lot. So it's potential. I've got 1, 2, 3 units here that I could kill and take the points. I may not win the objective, but they are worth a lot of points between them. There's easily somewhere between 1,500 and 1,800 there, I think. So I've got, it's over 1,500 points there that I could take, which would be amazing. So that's my plan. Yep, his turn. Yeah, the Heath Hunters failed their March check, so that's those 2 dead. But I basically ran them away, so now the wretched ones are out of the game. He doesn't charge the Avatar, which I was a bit disappointed with. I was hoping you would do that, but Rory is a very calm and collected player. Rash, he is not. he is trying to charge the Feldrax in, but he again fails, and I think I plink a wound or stand and shoot maybe, or I do nothing. But anyway, what he has done is he's moved his Exalted Herald round here, and he's basically got two spells. He's either going to put Mark of Doom on me, or Hasten, or something to lower my res, or it's 2d6 or the Hereditary. So he just wants to take a few wounds off before I charge in there. He takes off the Heath Hunters, and he takes off the Heath Riders. I do a couple of wounds though. Oh no, they was from the Wild Hunters, so I do nothing. My turn. If you look at this, he's taken three. He's only taken one wound off. So I think I let Mark of Doom off, and he only did one wound. So I've got 3 wounds on the Avatar, and he charges in. Now this is the mistake I really made. I think I got sidetracked, and I didn't put my dragon within range. Oh no, I did. Sorry, I did. No, sorry, I'm absolutely lying. That was within 6 inches. So I just had a piss poor magic face. The other thing you'll see is there's no blade dancers in the center, because guess where they are? Yes, I got them. It was a 10-inch charge, and I thought, screw it, I've got to go for it. And I made it on Swiss Stride, admittedly, but yeah, they're in. And quite frankly, those warriors are dead. If not this round, they will be next round. There is no way. I don't need any magic buffs there. They are good as gone. As you can see on the right, what I've done is actually I'm really happy. So now my shooting is focused on the Feldrex. So my plan is good. All I need to do this round is throw all my healing spells at the Avatar to make sure he's got another wound. And you know what? Nothing. I didn't get a single wound off on him. 4 wounds probably would have been okay. I probably could have won that. So, yeah, I'm sort of squeaky bum time actually, because 3 wounds is not hard for 4 knights of strength 5 there. So I'm a little bit like crap. I kind of was hoping, yeah, I'd at least get 1 wound off, or at least stone skin or something, but I didn't. Yeah, this is me getting closer. So the poison bow is, yeah, the poison bow's been taken away from druids now. I could understand if Rory felt that was vindicated after this game, because quite frankly, it wasn't the poison shot necessarily, I was just on fire killing these Veldrax. It wasn't that much done by the Pathfinders. Yeah, I didn't get close. I didn't get to swing, which is unfortunate because I only needed to do 4 wounds and I'd have broken steadfast, and I think I could have done that. Yeah, that 1 wound is to say that if I'd had 1 more wound, I could have survived that and struck back. And I think I charged, yeah. Oh, it was so close. Well, it wasn't. So the Avatar is down. Hooters is dead. And now I haven't got rid of them, so I'm in a bit of trouble. But as predicted, the Blade Dancers, I lost 1 because I got distracted. I went for +1 attack. Yeah, he's 4 up armor because of plate armor only. So yeah, I made that 6 up, and yeah, I went to town on him. Yeah, the entire rest of the unit. He'd lost about 5 by this point, so there was about 19 left, but there was only 2 or 3 after. Yeah, 2. So I killed about 17 in one go. It was ridiculous, but that's because I'm hitting on 2s, I'm wounding on 4s, and I just yeah. It's pretty. And the Blade Dancer BSB went nuts. He's hitting on 2s, winning on 3s. So absolutely they went bananas. But they overrolled and that, but quite frankly, I don't think it would have mattered. I rolled to run after them, so I rolled high. Basically, I'm out of the Arc of the Barbarians. I had a choice to turn around and hit the Barbarians, but I just thought if they rally, that's a lot of points I don't get, and he can just move away. So I didn't in the end. Maybe I should have, but I think making sure I was doing it properly was that. In this turn, he nearly saw what I was going to do, so I was going to be really, really sneaky here. He was going to charge them, and I was going to flee. Oh, I fled. No, sorry, I stood. And he was going to charge there, and then I was going to flee and land there, hopefully, which means he can't charge them. they can't reroll, and if they charge them, I then flee there, which is my plan. And then he's really like, and that was really too far away. So that was my plan. Luckily, well, unluckily, Rory saw it, so he charged in there. They were there. He didn't charge them. So well played, Rory. You saw my cunning plan to play the rules against you. But luckily, his warriors did not rally, and they're pretty much sat on the board edge. As you can see, yeah. So that's his Feldrax gone in there, and that's some dead Pathfinders. Yep, that's them sitting there, and I'll charge them off next turn and kill them. He eats the unit, but in Magic, he also nearly eats the other two Pathfinders. They obviously go down swinging. Though I did roll a load of wounds. Actually, it was really quite fun. Rory rolled a load of wound saves. It was incredible. Loads of 5-ups. I somehow got enough through that I could have killed one, and it could have gone down to one of them, but not to be. And that would have been unfair. It was unlikely I should have done so well. But Pathfinders, they are surprisingly nippy in combat when you think about it. So they go up to offensive 5 because of Silver Blades. They've got lightning reflex, so they're hitting on 2s. And I'm going to get through the AP 1, so it's just... yeah. Luckily, he didn't overrun in time to get the other Pathfinders, and I moved them out of the way. I charged, that's me on the left charging the warriors off and turning around to shoot them. And as you can see, I've taken off enough wounds to get 25% of the unit. But I need 3 more wounds, and I just couldn't get it. And that's pretty much the final turn. He comes in, he fails to kill the Pathfinders, so that's the final shot of the game. So he's killed a lot of my units. I've only managed to get the whole flyers off and the warriors, and nearly the Feldrax. There's one Feldrak left, one Feldrak. So yeah. So I think. Yeah, my biggest mistake, as it turns out, I think, was moving the Dryads up. The other micro thing that I should have done was, one, I should have thought about where I was going to run the objectives and stuff like that. So the Dryads, I should have hit the Dryads. What I should have done was put the small unit of Dryads, here, and if the wretched ones were there, run that way. If the wretched ones were there, run that way. And same for the Heath Hunters, and just played that game. I think I should have put the Heath Pathfinders on this side, just to give them that bit of space, especially the Feldrax over here, because I think between them all, I could have decimated the Feldrax over time. So I think that was it. So a couple of micro points, but overall a very fun game. As usual with Rory, lovely player. I just got outclassed. I think completely from the word go. I think I got lucky with the Blade Dancers, but it was some of my only points, because it made what was potentially a very bad game until the final turn. I only had 160 points, so it could have been quite bad. Otherwise, Rory's taken off lots of my units, and what turned into a 16-4. I only lost 13-7 because I managed to get the Warriors and the Feldrax. So if I'd managed to get the whole Feldrax and the other one, I think I could have gone back to a 12-8 maybe. Either way, it would have been 15-5 at best. But still, wonderful game, well deserved to Rory for the victory. But now I am sat on 25 at the end of day 1. Yeah, day 1, and going into a lovely dinner. It was really good fun commenting on that. And now I have a new tactic with the summer selves. But lessons from this game, I did not handle the wretched ones. I just basically let them dominate one on flank. I didn't have a plan for them. I didn't stick to it anyway. Partly because I tried to drop first, which could have been my mistake. So maybe that was my macro one. Especially as he didn't choose reroll to hits, rerolls to wound. No, actually, that's irrelevant. Whispers of Eld and rerolls to wound. He just throws 4 dice in one and 4 dice in the other. But my monsters, I could have, I should have done better. I played Pathfinders too narrow. Yeah, they would actually be useful on the flank. And I do need to consider the Dryad and Blade Dancer combo. That was the biggest one, but I just need to understand how they work, and because I think they support each other really well, actually, I find, and they can operate independently. And I must admit, with my new triple adept concept between Druid, I'm toying with the idea of a matriarch in there just to try and get that hatred in the first round because you have double strength buff. Reroll the hits with strength 5, AP2 drives in Horde. Who's in charge of that? Anyway, I'll probably get the matriarch kill and I'll probably go to a more triple adept with Book of Arcane Mastery, but 7 spells just too much. Do I go Crystal Ball? I basically I like the combination. It's very simple. I'm a little unsure in the Blade Dancer and the Spear. I think I want to get less points out of it. Sorry, I don't want to spend as much points on it. Maybe Spirit of the World would be better, just to get that extra, especially with double strength buff, because it's very easy to get it strength 6, AP 3, killing strike, lethal strike with 6 attacks. I mean, it's pretty lethal. Yeah, 5 base. Yeah, so I think yeah, and even on 3+ Aegis, he's with a double strength buff, he's strength 5. Yes, he's -1 AP, but still got lethal strike. So I think Spirit of the Whirlwind might have a better option, and it's just cheaper, and it gives me some extra points to play on Magic, which I must admit, with a triple adept, I know I keep going on about it. I really enjoyed that Magic phase. Can't wait to show that battle report purely for that. Um, just it's just good fun. But yeah, going on to the final one. I hope you all have enjoy the battle report and have a good weekend. That is me, and I'll bring the next battle report. Sorry, next battle report shortly. Thank you very much.